So these are all my books. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is my 10 before the end of 2024. So this is my whole stack of books, and this is an exercise for me holding this right now. So I'm gonna put this down and show you guys one by one. You can probably see what the top one is, but we've got quite a few. Obviously we've got 10, but I've chosen a lot of my big hardbacks to try and get through, because I don't love reading hardbacks just because they're obviously heavier to read, but I've still got quite a few that I really just need to get through. So that is my goal that I've set myself for the rest of the year, basically, is to read most of my hardbacks. The only 3 that is not going to be in this pile is the Crescent City series, because I know I will not be able to read that whole trilogy and all of these by the end of 24. Like, it's mid-November right now. Even this whole stack I do think is going to be a little bit of wishful thinking, but I mean, Christmas time, I have time off and I will definitely want to be cozy and read a lot, so I am hoping that I'll get through all of these. But that's enough. Let's go through them. So we'll start from the top. We have The Housemaid by Freida Mcfadden. Now, I've had this book for like 2 years, so it's just, she needs to get read, and she's a quick one, so I thought this might be a nice in-betweener, a break for some of these, because some of them are a little bit of longer books. So yeah, I thought this would be really nice to get to, just like a quick little thriller. And then I've also got The Housemaid's Secret. So this is the second book. I do know that there's a third one, and there's actually like a short story coming out, but obviously I'm gonna read these first to decide if I want to read the other ones, because I've heard that the first one is the best, but we'll see how I get on with it. But yeah, this one is a little bit longer than the first, I think, ever so slightly. And we've got Six of Crows. I'm really excited to read this. I've heard that it's better than Shadow and Bone, and I liked Shadow and Bone, but it wasn't my favorite, so if this is better, I'm very excited. I really loved the world of Grisha and stuff, so yeah, I'm intrigued. I've also had this sat on my shelf for many years. Many years now that I really think about it. It's been a long time. My main goal, well, my New Year's resolution for 2025 is definitely to try and get through the TBR that I have before buying new books, because it's an issue. And then I've got the sequel to Six of Crows, which is Crooked Kingdom. Wow. I just thought there's a few like black pages, so it's actually like some of the chapter pages. That's really cool. Oh. Yeah, I have a little bit of Six of Crows kind of spoiled for me though, because I watched the Shadow and Bone series on Netflix, because obviously I thought that it was just gonna be a reenactment of Shadow and Bone. But when I saw like Kaz and stuff in the very beginning of Shadow and Bone in season 1, I was genuinely so confused. I was sat there like, did I miss characters in Shadow and Bone? Like, who are you? I actually thought that Kaz was the Darkling at first, in like the very first scene, just because I was like, I haven't seen the Darkling yet, maybe it's him, he's giving off like dark energy or something, but it wasn't him. Obviously he was Kaz. So yeah, I have a little bit of it spoiled, but I didn't actually finish the show, so I don't think a lot is spoiled for me, but we'll find out. And then I have got Good Girl, Bad Blood. This is the second book in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I read the first book back in May this year, and I absolutely loved it, gave it 5 stars. So I am really excited to read these as well. And I got the collector's edition for the whole trilogy now, actually. But it's just like so pretty. I love it. And obviously, because I have Good Girl, Bad Blood, I have As Good as Dead, which is the third and final installment, and this is how the collector's edition looks for this. I'm really wondering what this is supposed to like be referencing, but this one's a bit of a chunkier one compared to the other two, actually. So yes, I'm so interested to see where this series goes, especially because when I finished the first book, I didn't think that there would be a continuation. And I know that originally it was meant to be a standalone, but obviously people loved it so much, so Holly Jackson carried on. But I'm really intrigued to see where the story goes. and I love Pip. I love the story, so I'm ready. And the next one I have is Jaqueline Wilson's book that she came out with this year called Think Again. This, I'm so ready. I feel like this is going to be perfect to read like around Christmas time, just because it's so nostalgic. And when I was younger, my grandparents would always buy me Jaqueline Wilson books for Christmas on my birthday. I'd always get at least 1 or 2 of her books, so I read literally all of her books growing up. I'm sure many of us read many of her books, and just the fact that she came out with like an adult novel continuing from the Girls in Love series, which I loved when I was younger. Yeah, I'm so excited to read this. I'm just like, oh, it just feels so nostalgic. And yeah, this is probably the youngest book I have out of this whole pile in terms of how long I've owned it. So she's getting rid of it a little bit quicker than some of my other ones that are staring at me on my shelf because I've had them for 4 or 5 years. And book number 8 is The Familiar. I actually have the Waterstones like special edition of this. It's a spread edge. It's a pretty like more tame one, I would say. It's not, you know, super fancy. But I'm really interested to read this. It's by Leigh, no, sorry. It's by Leigh Bardugo, I think is how you say her surname. So I have 3 of her books in this pile. I've just realized. Wow. Yeah, again, I just saw the premise of this book when it first came out and I thought that just sounds really good. So I'm also very intrigued to read this. Oh yeah, and the end papers are so pretty. Look at that. Oh, I'm actually so excited to read all these. Okay, this is really making me like super hyped to read them. And the next book I have is The Handmaid's Tale. This is actually like a sprayed edge one as well. So the inside end papers as well. I read The Handmaid's Tale for the first time like 10 years ago, but I haven't read it since. But since then, there's been the sequel come out called The Testaments. So I haven't read this. So I'm going to read both of these. Yeah. So I'm going to reread The Handmaid's Tale and then go into The Testaments because I've not read this in a very long time. So I thought I might as well reread it. And just with the state of the world right now, yeah, I just thought kind of fitting. I absolutely love Margret Atwood. She is one of my favourite authors, so I'm really excited to read The Testaments as well. And that's book number 10, obviously. Because I actually have no idea like where this carries on from, to be honest. Oh, this has end papers as well. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the timeline is for when we carry on. So yeah, I'm really intrigued as well, just to see what Margret Atwood has brought to the table for this book. Oh my god, I'm lifting this back again. So yeah, so that is my 10 before the end of 2024. These are all of the books. But I really want to know as well, obviously, like what you guys have as your goals. What are your 10 before the end? Are you doing 10 before the end? Every time I say that, it really makes me feel like it's of like life, but no, obviously we're talking about 2024. If you guys have also read any of these books, a lot of these I'm sure many people have. Let me know if you guys like them. But yeah, if you guys have read any of these books, obviously let me know in the comments if you enjoyed them. I love to hear what people like or don't like and to see if I feel the same way afterwards. But that'll be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please go down below and hit the like button and consider subscribing to never miss a video from me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!